you can definitely go ahead and pick you up some books, some good ones.
All right, I
Uh,
think I fixed it.
oh yeah, that's good. I know there's a vaccine for it, but y'all can talk to it. Listen, B, I don't doubt it, man. These people crazy, man. Of course, there's probably a vaccine. They made it up, so they got to have a vaccine.
They've been working on it since
Yes.
2015.
When you create something like America has done always, they've always caused the problem and then try to act like they come up with a solution. So we know how that go, man. So stay up on your stuff, stay reading. Um, I'll probably show y'all next week the African Holistic Health book. That's one of my favorites as well. But again, Blacked Out Through Whitewash, Suzar. This is Fletcher's favorite book. I mean, I got it highlighted and everything else. I mean, it's so much knowledge about yourself and about your people and about your ancestors and about what we've been through and how much we lost to get where we're at today. So, Blacked Out Through Whitewash, Suzar is a great read. Oh, he said we up now, so that's a good
Yeah,
thing. Thanks, B.
yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for letting us know, and also let us know if our feedback has been fixed because we did some new stuff to help that out.
Yeah, you can see I got the headphones on. Woo-hoo, feeling like I'm in the booth right now. I'm about to start singing for y'all.
About to
I'm
drop the
saying
bomb.
chocolate crown vocals, baby. But um, I guess we can get started.
Okay. Now that we all running on all things, yes, we can.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who's tuned in. I appreciate y'all, love y'all, and that's from the bottom of my heart. But
Since we may have some new viewers, do you want to explain our platform and the conversations that we may be covering throughout our journey and them joining with us?
well, I don't know if everybody's seen our logo, but our new logo, it kind of explains what we're going to be covering. A lot of topics. There you go. For those that don't know, Miss May is a relationship therapist, all kind of therapist. She's the queen of therapy for you. So we got, we're going to talk about intimacy, communication, healthy conflicts, social justice, some of the things that are going on in society right now. Try to break down some of the challenges that we might have to in our relationships, whether it's with your partner, your parents, your sister, your brother. You deal with so many relationships, whether your jobs, with your boss, all kind of things. So we're gonna try to go into different types of relationships and break down some of these walls and build them back up the right way. And
And
it's an
give you
open
the
platform. Yeah, it's an open space for you to make suggestions, make comments, because we can't do this alone. I mean, we're the voice that's speaking, coming through these airways, but I talk to a lot of people during the week. So it's not just my thoughts. I kind of formulate it and bring it together and try to make it interesting in a conversation. But I call people, talk to people, email people, text people. So I'm out here trying to get the what's on everybody's hearts and minds, and try to bring it to the people and come up with some kind of resolutions.
hmm And it's the point of view of both man and female, but we definitely can't speak totally for every male and every female. However, that's why where you come into play is because right or wrong, wicked strong, you could jump in and let us know a different perspective that we haven't considered or shared. So, it's an open forum so we can all grow as one community, one conversation at a time.
Oh yeah, of course. I listen. You can say it loud. You can say it twice. I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking for every man. No, 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 no. I'm not. But I
Right.
will tell you when I'm speaking for the majority of us, because
Okay.
there are certain things that a lot of us we need to have in us, and then there's
hmm
certain things we don't need to have in us. So um, I think one of my very first uh, topics that I'm going to just kind of hit today is
Okay.
I always watch movies and television to try to bring our conversation some kind of life where people could go and find out what Fletch was actually talking about. So, uh, over the last couple of weeks, it's been about the craziness between um, men and women in relationships. And with Fatal Affair and that kind of thing. But this over the last few days, I've watched Last Chance U on Netflix, and I don't know if anybody's got a chance to watch it, but it's very interesting because uh, it's kind of an in-depth behind the scenes on football players who don't have the major Division 1 scholarships, Division 2
Mm,
scholarships. I mean, they're going JUCO, they're going community college,
mm,
they're doing everything because they love the game, and I respect people. Um, I respect people like that. I mean, I worked very hard to get where I did in football, and I was blessed and lucky enough to get a full scholarship. And I used to tell guys that were on the bench that who didn't play at all, I couldn't be you. Like that commitment and that dedication, and knowing that you probably wouldn't play, like was amazing, man. So any brothers who out there, you know, that's a tough thing. So I was watching a young fella, and he was going through it. He was homeless, but he was still
mhm.
going to school. He was sleeping in his car some nights. He had a job at the wing stop, um, and I respected that. Shout out to B, man. B might, yeah. He said myself. He was one of the brothers who came out every day.
Okay.
Every he was even our captain. I'll never forget that. He would go out with the coin toss, but there was a good chance, and he played wide receiver, so he was behind me, and he was a senior as well. But he came out every day and worked his butt off, worked his tail off, went to school, was respectful. I mean, so people like that, I got the utmost respect for. And shout out to B and any other brothers who just love football because you just love it. Like it
Mm,
means everything to you. So this young fella, he got kicked out of his home by his father.
mm,
And he was homeless. He didn't want to be a burden to his mother. And his mother used to tell him, come on home, blah, blah, blah. Mom, I'm not going to be a burden. I'm going to
okay.
struggle. I'm going to go to school and I'm going to do what's necessary. So I'm watching it and I'm like, well, if he had a relationship with his father, what happened? So they start going into it. And I'm not going to go really all the way into it because I'll be here all night just telling this one story. But it, his father did a really, really awful job of leading his son.
Mm,
He did a really good job of embarrassing the hell out of his son. I mean, he was in the fifth grade. He told a story. He was in the fifth grade and he said something to a little girl, and it was disrespectful. He said he really didn't know. So his dad made him go to school dressed like a little girl. Uh, he said another time his father cut off all his hair up top and left him on the sides. So people
mm,
would laugh at him. And I'm like, as a father, how do you purposely make it harder for your son? Why do you purposely put obstacles in the way for this little black child who already is going to have enough obstacles put in his way? And the thing he says is, I'm a military guy, and I'm not compromising or anything. So when his father didn't have the discipline in him when he was young, he saw he went out to the military. He got all the discipline and everything. But what happened, what I was looking at is he got it beat in him. He got beat discipline in him instead of being taught how to discipline, being told how to discipline, being helped to understand why you're being disciplined. So he took that same thing. And what I want people to understand is, and B, you saying it right, he was jealous of his own son, which is sad because I'll get to that point. Um, he pulled his son off the football team in the 12th grade. His son had scholarship offers. So now, a year and a half later, um,
you keep
he's
talking.
he's looking for, he has no place, he has no home. He's homeless. He's in his car, and his father has a beautiful home. And the one thing that was scary to me is he said, "You can't have two lions in a house. You can't
Mm,
have two type A personalities in a house." And me, who has two boys, There's nothing more in this world I want for my boys than to be the head of the pack, to
Right.
be the type A, to be the leader of his household. Um, uh,
The
and B and
military
B Yeah, BJ said, he went to the military. He's a military guy, but I know BJ since we were little kids, and he already had some things instilled in him on how to be a good person. Like this father said it. He said, "I'm being an asshole."
guy. Mm-hmm.
And the most precious thing in the world, your son, this is what you decide to do. You know you're being,
Different.
for lack for lack of better term, you're being an asshole to your
Mm-hmm.
son. You're making your son embarrassed in the world where you should be his protection. You should be his leader. You should be where he comes to when the rest of the world is attacking him. It's making him feel some kind of way. He should feel I could go to my father. But because a lot of people are jealous of their children because they can't do what their children are doing, because they didn't have the opportunity, because he might not have been as good as his father, as his son. So there's all kind of things that children deal with that they shouldn't have to deal with from their parents. And I just brought it up because I was shocked. And I'm like, I would give my right arm for my son to be in a better position than I am, for him to be a better man than me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and B is the perfect person to ask. Like, do you get taught discipline or is it beat into you? You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between somebody teaching you how this process works than
Mm-hmm.
somebody saying, shut up and do what I said do. Because that's what that black man is doing to his son.
Mm.
Instead of getting some understanding of why his son thinks and feels like this, it's my way or the highway. And we know people like that. We grew up in a time where, yeah, kids shut the hell up
They were
and
seen
got
and
out
not
the way.
heard.
You got out the way. Um, so
My
it was just
bestie is saying yes, preach.
so it's just sad, man. So men and women, if we having kids, you gotta want your kids to be better than you, because none of us are perfect. I pray my son is better than me.
Right.
I pray he's 1,000 times. I want everything for him, and if that means sacrificing what I have or what I want, that's what I'm doing. I sacrifice everything. If you said, Fletch, you died today, both of your sons will be the best versions. Well, I'm out of here. Peace, y'all. So in my makeup, I can't understand, and that probably shout out to my mom because you know the child went first with everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it was an eye opening experience watching that come out of a black man's mouth, knowing how hard it is for black boys in this world. And you were a black boy, now you're a black man, and you putting barriers on your own child. Like we can't do that as parents. We got to knock down barriers, knock down doors, open doors, that kind of thing, and build these relationships up because that's the most important relationship your child's gonna have is with their parents until they get off into the rest of their life. But that relationship, you setting the foundation for your children. So I'm thinking as a man, I'm going to set the sturdiest foundation that I possibly can. Now, granted, there's things that happen and all that kind of thing. But if you're not putting these kids first, man, we doing it all wrong.
So that's like a great segue into you want to well we talked about talking about how mental health and relationships kind of coincide or work together. Um, that's such a loaded thing. So it's like, how has mental health that anyone that's listening recognizes impacted their relationship to like how Fletch just described it and using this show about this father and his relationship with his son and how he was in competition, but the child has no idea that they're in competition. Like he is his father, so he's looking at him as a role model, and as a role model, the father probably didn't have a role model to show him how to nurture that relationship. And then it's like going down to another generation. But where does a parent take responsibility to say we're going to break this cycle of breaking our children down?
to answer the question, I think it's imperative that the children are raised with both parents.
Hmm.
Yeah, and granted, that's the ideal situation. And I'm not saying that they got to be in the same home, but these parents, both of them, have to be in this child's life
Right.
100%. Because if that child is, let's say, the child lives with the mother,
Hmm.
the child can also understand what the mother went through. If the father has, like my boy BJ said, the father has mental issues.
Right.
So now we could both understand these challenges. Now, if I go, if I'm only just dealing with my father, there's nobody else there with me to maybe understand. And if you got men like in the movie, nobody's in that family is bold enough to tell that man he probably has some mental issues that needs to be checked out as well, because he's older. And older
Hmm.
generation, it comes with a stigma if they said you had some kind of mental issues or whatever. They the
It's the
technical
appropriate word now.
yeah, whatever they change it so much. Whatever the appropriate word is, it's like that father needed to go through one of Miss Mary May's counseling sessions.
Work groups.
Yes, because you got to sometimes it has to be put back up in your face for you to see it sometimes. And I'm not saying slapped in the face, but sometimes we don't even realize it. It's been ingrained in us for
Mhm.
so long that we think it's normal, and it's not normal.
And some of the things is just like a routine habit that we do on an everyday basis. We don't realize as elements of mental health. And the thing, like when you think about the stigma and so forth around mental health, is very important to distinguish or define how mental illness and mental health is two different things. So mental illness is something that's like hereditary, is biological. It is transferred from one generation to the next, where there has to be some level of treatment in order to, connect, or so, in order to, resonate and understand that, okay, I need to do another level of therapy. But mental health can be something very simple as you got on the weight scale and the number was on there that you didn't like and you respond. Or you get into traffic and somebody cuts you off and it's like, very crazy. Um, and you begin, when they cut you off, you use all these colorful words. That's an element of mental health, because then now you exacerbated your energy, that now when you end up going in to the next place that you're going to, if it's work or a relationship or a phone call, now you got all this energy all raised up high, where you I'm sorry, I'm saying it, yeah, that you are taking that negative energy into your next situation, and then now you're causing it chaotic when you need coping skills to kind of say, okay, wait, yes, I'm mad that the car, cut me off, but that's not the end of the world. That's not my whole entire day. Yes, the scale number didn't say something right, or my jeans didn't fit that I wanted to fit and wear this particular outfit. Like, you, people become very unraveled in regards to what is important to them, and they don't realize how that mental health, that action, that statement, their energy, how they enter into certain places, they're impacting it very negatively.
So, so with you just making that statement, can I ask, or can I say, can you control mental
Health.
health a little more easily than mental illness?
Absolutely. I mean, you can control both, but mental health will be the easier one, although it still takes investment of time and working with a professional, or changing your habits, or even changing some of your foods, because we can get triggered by that. Or we can also be triggered by a new health issue that has been introduced to our family or to our body, or, to our lifestyle, that is altering how it is that we intended to function. Because we have goals. When I turn 40, I'm gonna do this. When I turn 35, I'm gonna have this. When I turn 50. I'm turning my volume down. I'm not sure what's happening. You have to really, really be aware of how it is you function. So I see the question says, how would a person try to help someone that is bipolar? Now, bipolar, I don't want to get too clinical because that's not what Chocolate Crown is about, but I just want to try to make this as simple as possible. There are diagnoses that happen. We have 5 axes. On the first one, that's more treatable than the ones that are on axis 2. So if you have borderline personality, bipolar, mania, those type of things, if you're not consistent in your treatment and medication regimen, it's a wrap. Like anything that you try to be successful for is going to be totally chaotic. Whereas you don't necessarily need a medication regimen for the other things. However, sometimes to get focused and centered, you might need that. So that's the easiest way to explain that without being super therapist, because that's not what we want. We want real talk conversation. Not to say that that wouldn't be, but
Well, I'll tell you this: when she asked that question, then you got to say, because a lot of those people, she said something about bipolar, but those people are in relationships.
they are.
And then those people have to deal with, the partner has to deal with somebody who's bipolar, who's not taking a meds and not on a regimen, and then wonder why you spazzing out.
Right.
But then your partner's not a therapist to deal with something like this. So then when you go with all the crazy,
Cray
then you
cray.
wonder, yeah, humans only give back what you give.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of times people do not need to be in relationships at all. Like, no, just by yourself. By yourself. And I'm speaking for women, and I know y'all got some cuckoos out there, some men y'all done ran across who you should not have even given him your phone number.
But you don't know when you first meet because they can send their representative.
No, you know I'm against this. All women, he gave you some kind of clue that said he was cuckoo, and you ain't. Yeah, you're saying it's 2020 and he got a shag. Crazy.
Well, a shag is an automatic giveaway. If he got on a mid-dress shirt, that's an automatic giveaway. It's not that he in tune with his Prince love. He really, has a moment that he needs to correct and rejuvenate.
And as a man, there's things that women do and say to let you know they are stone cold cuckoo.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't listen. We don't catch the clues. We don't listen to the clues. We look at her butt. We looking at her lip. We looking at them big old things all in your face. And she holding them out because she know she can't hold that she's bipolar out on the carrot. She got to dangle these breasts in front of you.
But some of the things that, so you said we know in advance, some of the things that you may not pay attention to or you think is cool is the person wants you to text them all the time, or if you didn't respond right away and they're like, what you doing? Why you ain't text me? I'm at work. Like, I got to talk to you when I'm on my break or when I get off. And then if they know what time you get off and you haven't called them within the first 5 to 15 minutes of being off and they like blowing up your phone in that way, it's like, okay, you see that they are very clingy. They need a whole bunch of attention. They are insecure sometimes. Now, however, what we do is, they really checking on me. They really into me. They really want to see how my day is going and talk to me every step of the way. No, what is really happening is that they're showing you the red flags on how they're going to be the entire time. They're always going to want that instant response, that instant, reaction. And if we do it from the beginning, and you have children, your children are watching, so they learn from that. And then from generation to generation, they end up recreating,
shout out to my boy Sorry, Cedric. He said, "Blinded by the booty." They get you. And women know we're physical beings.
But sometimes the booty is not right because we can go to the store and buy a booty. Like that particular underwear that we put into, yes, I said it. Yes, I said it.
Nah, I got X-ray vision. I could tell if you got a fake padded butt on.
They
Now,
getting great with technology these days. You can go to the
no,
store and buy.
shout out to Mad QB. My brother Madi, he's checked in as as well. You can sit. Listen, we know they're going to get surgery and everything else, and listen, but you cannot fool Fletch or any of my fellas.
Say he's seen those drawers where it had an extra butt in there.
Yeah, that don't
Take
work.
it off and you like, what's going on?
That was for white women. We used to see the infomercials back in the day. They'd come on 2 o'clock in the morning and she got a big old butt. Like, they think they slick. They sneaking it in because the sisters got it and they don't have it. So they making butt cushions, man.
But
shout out to me. It don't work. That's not
But that's mental health, because somewhere they've been found to be insecure and told that what they had, what they were born with, was not enough. And because they feel like it's not enough, they do what they need to make it happen, or to, bring what they believe that is going to make you more attracted to me.
You opening up a can of worms.
I see the chat is like blowing up.
No, but when you just said mental health, so then why? So our sisters wear wigs, weave, makeup. You just told me about butts in Target. They get booty cushions. So all of this, listen now, and I ain't gonna say our sisters don't hook it up with the hair and all the makeup and all that, because some of them do, but some of them be looking crazy. But now, what's up, brother Madi? Shout out Mad QB, man. If you got a young fella that needs quarterbacking, Mad QB, look him up. Get at me, because he's the best quarterback coach on the East Coast. My best friend from Pittsburgh.
Right.
But so when I ask sisters that, we're not embracing who we really are. So is that a mental health issue?
Now, see,
I'm just asking the questions.
If they're not accepting themselves and they're using all of these add-ons, I'm gonna call it just add-ons, and cluster them together, then yeah, they're not really comfortable in who it is that they are independently. However, if they're using it as far as a protective hairstyle or protective because they've had surgery or something like that, then that's a different conversation, because protecting your hair with some of the styles, I'm not saying wearing a blonde wig for a dark melanated individual is appropriate and not have some elements of mental health, of acceptance of yourself. But if you're wearing something that's complementary to your skin and you're protecting your hair, that's being proactive. However, if you're defined by, oh my God, I can't go out unless I have this sewing down all the way to my back, 18, 22 inches, with my lashes on and my nails on and all these different things, then you're defining yourself through media, which would be a level of mental health, because you're not comfortable and confident in who the creator has built you to be. And so then therefore you shift every single time, and you're really not confident in what you bring to the table. So you alter it and you do add-ons, so to speak.
Listen, because honestly, we could go out right now. We could go out. We can, well, you got brothers is talking about protecting your hair. No. Okay, but when we go out in these cities,
I ain't saying wear the bonnet and protecting your hair. That's not what I'm saying. That's not an add-on.
A whole nother ghetto rap.
Okay. All right. I just want to be clear.
Savage. If you wearing a bonnet, yep, that song's for you. If you outside in a bonnet, that song's for you. Megan the Stallion.
They really bother me.
No, but we see a lot of sisters, a lot of younger sisters. I mean, they're actually looking like they putting on Halloween costumes.
Right.
It's crazy. And then they'll tell you they want a real man. How do we? Where is the detachment? Where is the? I don't even know the word that I'm looking for right now. But it's something sad when you could tell me you look in the mirror, don't like what you see, throw all kind of Halloween costume on, and then tell me you looking for a real man. Like there's something really wrong with that.
So they're in a Halloween costume every day because they have a
It's
sew in, or because it's like bright fluorescent red and blonde, something
yeah,
like
it's
that.
too much. You look exactly how somebody would look on Halloween.
A clown.
Yes, we looking silly. Like
Hmm.
you know, when somebody embraces their imperfection, that makes them look better.
Hmm.
That makes you look better. That makes you look like a human. You know what I'm saying? At an early age, I embraced these dips. I
Yeah.
embraced, yes, I embraced them. I embraced them in 1987
Mm-mm.
and knew, and knew these joints is gonna be big.
But do you really remember the exact day in 1987 that you
I was in
embraced your
I was in sixth grade, Mr. Coretta sixth grade class, and I was skinny, I was tall, and them dips was out there. And I heard every Dumbo joke, all that,
right?
but I got good at cracking jokes. So
So then, okay, so then let's take that. So when
right.
people are teased about an imperfection or something that is not really an imperfection, but they see it as an imperfection because somebody is talking about it, doesn't that resonate that they're okay, now I need to overcompensate to do something else so that I can hide my ears or I can hide the part that they're talking
I'll
about?
tell you this. Yes, when you don't have a strong foundation and come home to you to help you work through that. If you don't have nobody to come home to tell you certain things about who you are and your makeup, and that these kids don't got nothing. Everybody from Rankin, Braddock, and Switchfield when I grew up, they was all broken poor. So to say a broken poor joke about somebody was stupid because we was
Hmm.
all poor.
Right.
And most of the time that's the case with our kids around all these cities. Yeah,
Right.
you got on this, you got, but you ain't got no money either.
Okay. So then it's like we can go down a rabbit hole and talk about a whole bunch of social constructs that create either mental health or create this false representation of ourselves. Like we could probably have 3, 4, 5 weeks of
Okay,
episodes
yeah, of course, and
breaking
that's
it
fine.
down, talking about that.
No problem with that. But I will say, if that person can come home and have somebody to talk to and help them understand what goes on with young kids at that age,
Hmm.
you can help you process and understand. It's not just you. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's more about this society thing. And do you have somebody to help you work through it, or do you have to take it on yourself? Because as a young person, if I had to always hear, your ears is big, and my mom wasn't uh, uh, giving me any feedback on, oh, sorry, any feedback on what was going on, then yeah, I'm sorry, I was reading a message, people. Then it would have been hard to work through it, but that wasn't the case. Once it was said about me, I embraced my ears.
Okay,
I
so
didn't.
you're an A-type personality. So a lot of stuff for an A-type confident individual who's athletically inclined, like you got all these other things that like is pushing you into confidence, right? Or developing and nurturing your confidence. For a person who is not with that toolkit, that's mental health, that's bullying, that's harassment, that's fear, that's anxiety, that's like all these things. Every time they walk into a certain place, they are always looking at, okay, did I cover my ears? Are they looked at me long? Are they looking at my teeth, my smile, my nose? Like they're second guessing every single step of the way, to the fact that they're canceling out what they're great at.
So that's because nobody ever taught, there was nobody there to help build them up, to tell them this is what you're great at. We all have flaws, but there was nobody there to help them. See, it's funny you saying that because the ear thing was one thing, but I got my quarterback on the others on the Instagram, and he threw me touchdowns. So them same people who talked about me gonna love me once I scored touchdowns. So I'm like, what is this really about? But when you got somebody you could go home to and give it some clarity, give you some legs to stand on, give you some
Mhm.
confidence, You know what I'm saying? All that stuff from your peers and all, it'll just roll off of you
Right.
because that is what it is. But when you got people building you up and giving you legs to stand on and,
Mhm.
and, and empowering you, all that hate is what it is. It's hate. People still hate on me today. I just laugh. I
Right.
just, I
But when
just
you
laugh.
go ahead. No, but
No,
when
go ahead.
people are of wisdom age, and I'm gonna just say wisdom age is 40 plus. Hopefully at some point, 'cause it doesn't happen for everybody 40 plus. Hopefully at some point you can embrace that you are a beautiful individual who has been created for the space in which you exist in. And that if people can't accept what it is that you bring to the table, then that's not the table that you've been invited to. And
Right,
that takes a lot to walk away from those situations because you may think like, well, I have fun with these people and I do this, but you are the butt of every joke and don't even realize it because you're trying to push yourself as a circle into a square peg and it just don't work. So it's
right,
like you have to find where your magic point is and where your magic, is going to exist and just be confident in that. And if it's someplace that, like, if you were in a family and you're into computers and building stuff, and they're like, no, you don't need to do that. You need to come out here and do this popping, snapping, dancing type situation. And you're like, yeah, I'm not really into the dancing thing. And they talk about you. It's like, so what? Listen, I'm about to be a billionaire. Y'all over there with this transitional type something, but having that space to be able to stand in what it is that makes your magic takes the people at home or take the people that's a positive teacher or whoever your role models are building you back up. If you don't have that, then you're overthinking, you're second guessing, and you're ruminating all the ways in which you could try to correct and do things better. And so that time that you take in doing that is mental health
right.
because then now you are always at a false representation of who it is that you're trying to be instead of just saying, you know what, this is who I am and I'm rocking it out. And that could be with the red hair, it could be with the blonde hair, or it could be with the natural color that flows with your complexion.
Yeah, my guy said beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and that's true. Like we don't know what somebody else may like. And
Right.
when I tell guys, especially, you cares what another guy think. You trying to impress some woman. Why are you over here trying to or worrying about what another dude is thinking about you? Like, yeah, we could care less about that. But
Right.
like my boy Cedric said, it's in the it's in the eye of the beholder. Like we don't know. Everybody laughed at Jay-Z when he was trying to get Beyonce.
Hmm.
A whole bunch of years later, she got that brother last name. And a lot of people laugh. Nah, he ugly. Why is she with him? He wasn't thinking about what y'all was talking about. He embraced it. Y'all called him a camel. He made raps about it and got
Hmm.
Beyonce. Now the dude who was talking crap, he got little Kiki from the block. He got little Kiki and she ain't doing nothing. She's a piece. Yeah, Joe Camel jokes and everything about Jay. And he worth 500 billion and got Beyonce. And like, listen, man. So yeah, anybody who's out there, man, get around people who's going to help build you up, build your confidence, instill some wisdom in you. So we not embracing, so we don't have to embrace our negatives. We don't have to hold on to the negatives or what our perceived negatives. We can grab onto the positives. We can highlight our good stuff. We can highlight our greatness and go from there instead of being pulled down because somebody said something negative about you to get a laugh from somebody else. When if
Hmm.
you they got 50 million things wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? 50 million things wrong with them. Like,
Because there's no such thing as a perfect person. So it's like if you're striving to be perfect and not make mistakes, again, I can easily default to anxiety and overthinking and putting pressure on yourself that's really truly unnecessary. But if you learn that and people nurture how it is that you function in that, they may have secondary gains because if you are not a strong-minded individual, then they can manipulate you and have you go and do certain things that you might be like, okay, well, why would I even, do anything different or do anything outside the box because you're being valued or liked, or, you know, if you're about the buzz and you're about the likes, then it works for you.
Right. Yeah.
Really,
And
really
I
works.
mean, reality is a lot of people are about the likes. That's
Mm-hmm.
the reality. There's a very few people. I mean, and we gonna try to elevate. But if we ain't saying nothing ratchet, we ain't gonna get 50 million views. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't talking about uh uh what's it called? If we ain't talking about Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion new song, we ain't gonna get but so many views because this world dwells in the negative. It
Right.
dwells in the lower self. That's what get views here, man. To be honest, it's gonna be a small road to the lives we change, and you already know that.
I do.
You already know that. It's 100 people, you gonna change 4 lives. And
I do.
sometimes it feels like, why am I doing this? But it's a bigger purpose. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Saving one, that's feels like a million, man. It feels
And,
like a million.
and it's very difficult for people to have the conversation around, because we as melanated individuals, we respond with emotion. So because we respond with emotion, we get caught up, distracted, and stuck in our emotions around why a music song is saying or doing what it is that they're doing. So if that is the case, then we're missing probably a bigger opportunity. And if you're a business owner, it's like, okay, what did they do from a business perspective that I can learn and grow from? What they did was is Meg and Cardi, I'm sorry, I didn't see the video, don't have as many followers as the Kardashian. So what they did was, okay, we get her on there, we have a feature of her for a couple minutes, we're going to have access to an audience that we would have never had. So if you're a business owner and you have a like-minded business associate that is doing something similar to you or in like-mindedness or where it is you're trying to get to, then either learn from them, collaborate with them, and use that individual or use those spaces where you can build your brand, because your brand is only going to grow and it's going to have a far greater reach. So now they have a reach, an audience that they would have never been able to touch had they not put her on for what I think I was told 2 minutes. That 2 minutes is going to come as a return of investment over and over and over again. But we are caught in the lyrics, the personalities that we know, because that's all emotional. Is it correct? No, it's not correct. I'm not sitting here co-signing and saying that, okay, this is what music should sound like or anything like that. So don't hear Mary May from Butterfly Love co-signing that as a relationship therapist. I'm just saying it's always multiple sides of how it is that we look at stuff, and we are very emotional. We get stuck in our emotions and unable to kind of remove the blinders of what is happening right in front of us. We get numb.
Listen, I would I wouldn't have a problem with it if there wasn't little girls out there singing it.
Right.
Just like when I was coming up. I listened to more murder music than I mean, Too Short had a song, he cussed the whole song. Every word he cussed, every word. I
Hmm.
I mean, I love hip hop. There's no doubt about it. But what they're doing to my precious beloved hip hop is disgusting. And I hate to see young people who, granted, there's a lot of girls who are strippers and that kind of thing and have made something out of themselves. But when we call in a song WAP, and then you hear them say it over and over and over and over, how many little girls is going to say that? You know what I'm saying? How many little girls, little black girls,
Hmm.
8, 9, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, gonna be saying this? Like
Hmm.
that's what I'm worried about because if we allowing it when you're 5, when that little girl is 15, she's gonna be on Instagram naked, guaranteed,
Getting her
guaranteed,
money, because we
guaranteed.
look at the
Right,
contract,
but
social contract of money
there has
as
to be
being the
some
answer to
morality.
everything. And that's a social contract that is really invisible. But we put a lot of emphasis, a lot of focus on having certain dollars amount when that money is really invisible. If you go to the bank and you say, okay, I want to withdraw everything, they don't have everything that you have deposited in. If everybody went to the bank on the same day, it's going to be a situation because money is transitional. And the reason it takes 2 to 3 days for it to clear on your account or clear on your account, however, on either side, It's because it's being manipulated, it's being utilized for multiple ways. So it's like we don't look at how we as humans are currency, and we're being manipulated in multiple ways all the time. So it's like you got to pay attention to the game and be on swivel to be able to respond accordingly.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and beat the sisters down because the brothers been degrading women forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just sad that when we grew up, we didn't have just one sex woman who was just a sex symbol. Like I just watched the 95 Source Awards. They
Mm-hmm.
had Little Kim on that same Source Awards, and we know how ratchet and raunchy she was. But on the same Source Awards, they had Lauryn Hill, who was dressed looking like a beautiful black queen. And I ain't
Mm-hmm.
even gonna lie to you, Little Kim wasn't even dressed that bad. She had on a broad top, but she had on pants and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that was like we started to allow that then, and now we got social media where our little girls can show their whole body for $6.99,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all. It ain't gonna get better.
And sometimes free99.com.
It might be on the joint for free. It ain't gonna get better. It's gonna get worse. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to get worse. So we got to find these young people and try to talk to them and tell them, don't get numb to this craziness you watching, man. This craziness you seeing, that the stuff they elevating, you know what I'm saying? They elevating strippers. They elevating the lowest part of humanity
Right.
instead of taking some people who've been doing it for a long time, who started off as young people and avoided the temptations, got into college and avoided the temptations, became a grown person and avoided the temptations. How did they do it? Don't give me
Mm-hmm.
somebody who went to jail for 20 years, came out. No, that's no, Show me somebody from day one who been doing it the right way. That's who I want to talk to. That's who I really want to talk to. That's why I go out here and talk to these young boys because I ain't been
Right.
perfect, but I've been trying to elevate my community since I've been a young person in every possible way. And if they ain't for that, it's something like, listen, man, it's sad. I mean, I go off on to a whole crazy little thing, but we got to know. Sorry, I'm sorry.
So I just want to, go back to we talked about mental health and we brought it up on how it exists across different relationships. And the way is to heal and to get better is to be aware that there's some pattern or something that you're doing and there's no fault of your own. Like, so if you're a parent or a caregiver, don't take guilt or blame for what it is that you're experiencing, but you did what you could with the toolkit that you have. But if you realize that what you're doing should be changed or altered, then utilize the resources that the creator has put in place to build you up. And if that means counseling, counseling is not a light switch process. It is a process that you got to go, you got to dig deep, and you got to come present. You got to practice whatever the skills are so that you can get better. And it's like you just really have to invest in being a better you. And in doing that, it takes work. Again, it's not a light switch. You can't just undo everything that you've been doing all these years and making it, packaging it up in a gift and it's going to be okay. And money is not going to make it better. Money may make it less stressful and less of a demand on your mind and your energy, but it gives you access to getting to what it is that you need to get to.
Money is gonna have you be able to buy stuff after the stress hits you.
Right.
Because you're gonna be
If you
stressed whether
invest it right.
you're gonna be stressed whether you broke or poor. Because that's America. This is
Right.
America, baby.
Well, broken poor is the same thing, ain't it?
Wickedly broke
Ain't
and
broken
poor.
poor the same thing?
Nah.
Nah,
Uh-uh.
what's the difference?
I was poor when I was growing up.
Okay, you about to make Mama Joe go in on the message.
We is poor. We is poor. We is poor
Okay.
growing up. I'm broke
Okay.
now. I'm broke now. I ain't poor. I'm broke. I ain't poor. You know what I'm saying? Because I could decide on what I want to eat. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Back then it was you might have these no frills, baby. You might have this bologna. I mean, my mom bust her ass. She did whatever she could. I ain't listen. She was amazing. I give her
Right.
all the credit in the world. But we lived in Palisade Plaza, building 7B2, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's what made me who I am. That's it's a part of my makeup. So
Right.
And
But now we have parents who overcompensate so that their children don't have those experiences, but then they end up protecting them so much that when they are out on their own, they can't make a good decision. They can't negotiate, different things the right way. And it's like they end up, getting hurt emotionally and sometimes physically because they're unable to have that quick thinking, and that quick thinking is something that we learn in situations where we didn't have everything that people said we needed.
I'll tell you this, on my end, I'm mindful to not let my son hoop in some bobos because I had to hoop with some joints that was awful, and I was always the best player on the team and had some weak sneakers to hoop in. So
Right.
that's the only thing that I make sure my son he got sneakers, the good sneakers to hoop in. But other than
Mhm.
that, I'm not. I'm going to put you to the test because the world's going to test you as well. So I'm prepping you. I'm preparing you for that. There's certain things I do now to my 7 year. Boy, let's go. The trash and all of it, all 9 bags. Oh man, I don't care. Mama Joe would have had me take trash from one end of the projects to the other end and then told me I had 60 seconds to be back in the house. So I'm
Wow.
not compromising on that. There's
Right.
certain things that I know she instilled in me. Hard work. Get up off your ass. You want something, you go get it. You know what I'm saying? All the mental health. Listen, if there's things you could put in place to stop
Mhm.
certain things from happening down the line, that's what you do. You put them in place right now. If I know traffic is crazy, I'm not leaving my house late and have to zip through and then bow. No, I'm leaving early, so I don't gotta fly. There's certain things we need to start doing before we get to blaming somebody else.
Right.
Because we always love to play victim instead of saying we put things in place to prepare for it down the line. Prepare for the future. So I ain't gotta say, oh man, I was late because of this. Nah, I was on my way early and I seen the accident, so I was able to dip around and go, and now I'm here on time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to Show Greg Schiano. I only had him for 1 year, but he was on my behind about time management, about you not knowing what's ahead of you, so prepare for it. And a lot of people from Rucker, we have our love hate relationship with our head coach, but as a young man who went 3.5 years and didn't learn much from the coach before me, and I could honestly tell you that I respected and I appreciated when I got Greg Schiano and Daryl Hazel in my life to do what you said before. It wasn't always to dwell on the negative.
Right.
Because the coaching staff before, yeah, that's what they. Why you got your pants like this? Why you got your socks like this? You worry about that. We about to go lose 55-0.
Right.
You worry about stuff that don't matter. You know why I got it like this? Because if I feel good, I look good, I play good. And all players know that. We know that.
Mhm.
Nah, now that Rutgers look bad, feel bad, get your ass kicked. That's what we did. And the coaches condoned it. Shiano came and it was a whole new feel and makeup when you had somebody. He was gonna break you down. Yes, I ain't gonna say that, but he was gonna build you back up.
Right.
He was going to build you back up, and he did that. And I wish I had another year with him. And I was too old. They was trying to fight for another year in college. I was like, hell no, I'm out of here, buddy. I'm, I'm out of here. But all this stuff is tied into each other, and I'm only saying that, and I use it because I'm a football player, so I relate a lot of things to sports and how it's helped me. And I always knew when I got a good coach, they break you down, but they
Mhm.
build you back up.
Right.
They don't leave you to sulk in your own stuff, in your own failures, in your own mishaps. No, they correct it and then they find out what's the best. What are you good at? What do you
Mhm.
do? Let me put you in a position of power. Let me empower you. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up all my life playing quarterback. We had Medi on the Instagram. He was the quarterback.
Mhm.
When we got on the same level in the same grade and we played again, I'm not fighting with Medi to be the court. I know what I do best.
Mhm.
I'm going to play receiver. you get people to empower you. That's who we need around you. And you, I mean, I've seen you work as a therapist. That's what you do. You find out what's good, what's the good things in these people, and we empower them.
Right. We empower. I use creative things, and I don't I'm usually using metaphors, as opposed to all of the jargon and so forth. It's because jargon doesn't get resolution. You got to really just understand what's important to the individual, and then help them see themselves in a situation from a different perspective. So, you know it's always important to do that. And not every clinician really works from that perspective. Sometimes they want to prove something to themselves that would create a different response.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're gonna be on here every Sunday talking this smack, talking this good stuff. But there's several things that gonna always resonate. And listen, we have to work on self. We have to. We love being in relationships. We love being around other people, but we can't keep coming around people and being in these relationships if we ain't getting better. If you're
Right.
in the same place you was 10 years ago, especially mentally, you're not in a position to be in a relationship, man. You're not. So work on you. We have to work on you. Like it's mandatory. As I'm saying that, I take time out to write daily about myself. I take
Mm-hmm.
time out to look at myself. I take time out to meditate. And it don't gotta be traditional. You don't gotta go move everything around, light candles, burn sage. No, take some time out, talk to yourself, listen to yourself. You'll actually get clear directions from your own self about what's the next step to take. So
Right.
in these relationships, let's just be a better you. I'm gonna be a better version of Fletch this week. Mary gonna be a better version of Mary. And
Mm-hmm.
you, I know B gonna be a better version of D. Everybody who checked in, Mama Joe was sick. You gotta be a better version of you this week, Mama Joe. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of us. And if we keep saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it some more, like eventually you'll start to see this thing is repetition, like with anything. If you
And our
keep
brain does what we tell it to do. So it's like if you tell your brain that you aren't valuable and what you say or doesn't have any meaning or anything like that, then that's what it's going to draw. You're drawing that energy to yourself. So it's like you draw what your energy is attracting. So if you want to change it, change the way you're thinking, change the way you're eating, change the way you exercise. Everything builds upon each other, like one moment at a time.
yeah, I was just talking to a 16-year-old and I
Mm,
tried and I told her, I could tell you right now by talking to your two friends what's going on in your life right now. Cause your two friends ain't shit. Sorry for my language, but they ain't. So that means that's telling me you making ain't shiggity decisions right now.
mm-hmm.
Because these are the two people you bouncing ideas off of.
Right,
These are your two sources of some kind of explanation for what's going on.
right.
And most people, young people, are like that. You gotta, as older people, we gotta lead these young people to better people, man. And I know all of us, we don't have the best friends, because I know I got some friends, cuckoo, straight, great. My best friend is doing 20 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Great. But I knew certain times I can't be with him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be with him because he's going to make a decision that's going to jeopardize you because he don't care what happened to him.
Right.
So I knew that. So what did I do? I put things in place. You want to see me? Because you got to come to Rutgers. You got to come all the way from Pittsburgh to Rutgers to see me because now you out your element. You got to come to mine. And in
Right.
my element, we sleep well. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no sleeping with your one eye open. We good here. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my friends, he was my friend and he wanted that life. He wanted street life. So
Mm-hmm.
structure of college and doing things and You know what I'm saying? Trying to better. No, that's not what he want. He want to pull guns on people, sell drugs, shoot people, all kind. And I'm like, nah, that ain't, cuz that ain't me. I actually want to live to be 45, 50, 60,
Mm-hmm.
70 years old. Like, so, and I'm talking to young people, man, even as grown people, we got to make better decisions on who we're with, around who we're around. And I've had this conversation with you as a therapist. I had to
Yeah.
give therapists some therapy. But no, that's honest, like
Yeah,
truthful.
that's transparency.
Yeah,
Yes.
we lean on, listen, lean on good people. And I know you're a good person, so we leaning on you. You know what I mean? He said, Red Malcolm X type. My boys are hilarious, man.
So you
But,
know,
but yeah, man.
412 is special.
Yeah, no, you I just think that when we trying to get into these relationships with whoever, we just need to be the best version of ourselves and stop lying to ourselves and look at the mirror and give yourself an honest answer about who you are and what you want to be better at.
And if they don't stay after you tell them or show them who you authentically are, then they're not the person for you to be with. So don't go chasing them. Don't go trying to say, okay, well, what is it you want me to be? And then trying to become a chameleon, because you can only wear that mask of the false person that you're representing for only so long. Like, it's not going to work like forever. So you really have to like check yourself, be transparent, and be honest with the fact that, okay, what can I do differently?
No, you're right. Hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Hit the nail on the head. But I
Because we never,
know
never want you to leave with an empty bag. We got to make sure if we secure in the bag and using that word, whatever
what's
we
up.
talk
What's
about.
up, Hype Apparel? Checking in with us. Appreciate you. I went back on
Yeah, I saw.
yeah, I went back. I don't even know which one I'm on. And I gotta I gotta I gotta tell Instagram if it's under $ flex, it's probably something crazy. But if it's under chocolate crown, I'm trying to be very professional. So but if it's under $flex, trust and believe I'm saying anything and everything I want. Oh, that's my guy, E Walk. That's your apparel company, E. If that's your apparel company, I need my logo on some shirts. Can we talk business, my brother?
Right?
That's my that's my whole backfield, my quarterback, my running back, and that's his company, Height Apparel. That's dope because he was short, so I think it might be a play on height, but
It
it's
might be a pray.
HYGHT underscore apparel, Height Apparel. Eric Walker, go check him out. I was wondering who I was going to shout out as a business owner, and that's my guy, Eric Walker. Height Apparel, go check it out. Instagram, please go check it out.
So if this conversation has been of value to you, please drop that in the comments and let us know. But also let us know if there's something specific that you want to talk about more. Or, because we are pulling, what we feel that people will want to hear, but we really want to hear from you so that when we pour in to this conversation and prepare to represent the Chocolate Crown kings and queens and how it is that they exist on a day-to-day basis, we want to make sure that the content that we're given is real talk matters, is also resolution and not just talk, because we could be entertaining, but entertaining is not going to get us where it is that we need to be. So it's like we want to have conversations so that we can, if we're motivating whatever, please leave what they call those things, a great comment on the Chocolate Crown page.
Yeah, leave a comment on Chocolate
Chocolate
Crown.
Crown. Let share with your friends. Let them know that Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that they need to rock it out with us on any of the platforms.
Listen,
So
Sundays, because you guys can't see us now because we're not live together. Uh, Sundays, 8 p.m. Please tune in. Come check in 8 o'clock early so you can
y'all have to
yeah,
forgive him
yeah. Tomorrow
for
she
and
tuned
trying
in
to
on
talk.
Sunday. That's what's up. Keep checking us out, man. And hit me up with some topics, man. We're gonna go ahead and make this bigger and better. As you can see, we didn't have no headphones the first couple shows. Now I got headphones. Listen, it's only gonna get better and better, man. Tomorrow, that's one of my day ones. B's one of my day ones. My mama, She the day one.
She is the day one.
um, yeah, we're gonna continue, man. We're gonna keep trying to break down some of the things that's going on with our people. And when I say our people, I mean our people.
Our melanated kings and
Yeah,
queens.
our melanated kings and queens, man. But its relationship flows is Miss Mary E. May Butterfly Love. Um, but yeah, man, we're gonna keep trying to bang at this big old tree and keep hacking at it, man, until some of these trees start falling, man, so we can see through the woods and see through the forest, and just try to bring some light, and I mean, I will try to bring some laughter to it, but
Always.
like Mary said, this is so serious, man. These conversations that we having, they need to be heard. Then you're not gonna always agree with what I say, you know
What
what I'm
I
saying?
say?
Because I'm not gonna hold punches at all. And they all saying hi to Mama Joe. Mama Joe's looking at Mama Joe booming on my Instagram page. They all seeing Mama Joe up there, man. She used to be screaming at us. She might have gave BJ a beating back in the day. She might have. But
We
now,
know it's early in our episodes too, but if there's anything that we talk about that you like, okay, I need to have a deep dive with the both of you guys and learn more, because again, it's the point of view of both male and female, man and woman. We do have those opportunities available to you as well. You just need to reach out to us and we will schedule our next availability that works with your schedule, to peel back whatever layers we need to peel back, because the goal is that we want you to be well and successful.
raise that chocolate crown. That's all it's about.
Raise that chocolate crown.
Me, I mean, I keep going, but I ain't gonna beat them in head. And I know how it go. I know how it go. People get tired of hearing and seeing flesh face. So I give you an hour and then I get out of there, man. And y'all could go ahead back to Criminal Minds or whatever else you watch, man.
I
But yeah,
hope
check out Last Chance You. Um, because it gives you a real interesting perspective on some of the things that are happening in the community, some of the things that these young people are going through. So yeah, check it out, man. It's very interesting, man. It's based Langley College, and it's based in Oakland, California. So yeah, go check it out if you get a chance.
and Mama Joe says grandparents. She wants us to talk about grandparents, which
I
that's
already know what she. Listen,
it's a lot of things you can talk about. Probably
yeah,
that's
grandparents, you getting on my nerves. That's what grandparents do.
she's showing love to her grandchildren.
Nah, I'm just
Yes. So thanks again for joining us this week, and I guess we're gonna wrap it up. We catch you guys next Sunday.
soon we're gonna have an intro and an outro. Oh, hey man, this is about to be real, so stay tuned with us, baby.
Stay tuned, and again, we can conversate throughout the week on our Facebook page or Instagram. So holler at us. Be safe in the meanwhile.
Love y'all. Peace.